Hey guys, welcome back. Did you see Ben's most recent video? If not, it's about his experience there at Bass U. I was lucky enough to be one of those 200 people in attendance there for that. The question that everyone wants to know is, did he really give up the juice? Well, I'm gonna tell you about my experience. Stay tuned. So I've been sitting on this for a while now. I knew that, following Ben's channel that he was going to be doing this, and I had never been to a Bass U seminar before, but once I knew that he was going to be there and my interest in catching those double-digit bass like what he does, I felt like if there was any chance that I might gain some extra knowledge that may help me do something like that, I was like, sign me up. So I got my tickets early. I had a very high suspicion that it was going to sell out. It was there in Athens, Texas, which is about 3-hour drive for me here. Showed up early there that Friday, got my bearings, checked in a hotel, went there early that next morning. There was about 200 plus in attendance. Getting through, getting in, getting seated, everything was very smooth. The Bass U people were well prepared and very professional with how I think that the whole thing went, which again, if you've ever considered going to one of those seminars, my particular table that I was sitting at had a couple of gentlemen that had been there previous years. They had told me, last time there was like a third of the people. So Ben was a huge draw there for the crowd. The thing kicked off pretty promptly with the first seminar being hosted by Nick LeBrun. He went into some things on what he specializes in, punching heavy cover and things of that sort, giving you a sense of what it was like to be there in the crowd. You imagine you have this filled conference room with everybody's focus center stage on the presentation. His entrance, I think, was perfect because everyone was focused in on the lecture that was going on. I mean, everybody's eyes and ears locked on the speaker. Ben must have snuck in and kind of was sitting there in the back of the room. When they opened it up for questions, people were kind of, I guess, shy to chime in with questions while Nick was up at the stage. You hear this voice that everyone knows come from the back of the room where Ben asking a question of Nick, and pretty much everyone heard that voice and just all eyes then went directly to the back of the room, and you could tell that the whole atmosphere of the whole place kind of changed and electrified, knowing that Ben's here now, and that was pretty cool. For Ben's lecture, talking about his specialty more or less, the big baits and forward-facing sonar, he went on to give his lecture. And the cool thing was, at one of these events, they give plenty of time to actually approach the pros and ask them questions and things of that sort, which was really nice. Again, Ben being the major draw there, he was nice enough to interact with the crowd, very genuinely, took pictures with everyone, answered their questions. I got my picture taken with Ben. He signed my hangover, which was pretty cool. But another thing is, not only when he was giving his seminars, and I felt like, did he give that extra in his seminar? I think absolutely so. He gave that extra juice, and I'll tell you why, and how I feel like this is the truth is when you watch his videos, and I don't think that I've missed one in the last at least 3 or 4 years, and going and watching what he does on the video versus what he was giving in his lecture, he had more time to actually explain what he was doing and what his thought process is and these things to allow for a dialogue of question and answer that leads me to believe that yes, he did give the juice, so to speak. What was also awesome is that he brought his stuff with him, a lot of his baits and this, that, and the other. And if you follow his channel, he does a lot of his own modifications and whatnot. And I tell you what, to look at his stuff spread out there, it was like being able to go to a museum and actually touch the artifacts. So what I found very interesting is to be able to look and touch and kind of play with, for lack of a better term, of some of the jig heads and some of the baits that he had modified, to actually look at what he was doing, because you only get a certain perspective on a video of what the bait's being used and blah, blah, blah. Now, I myself have tried to recreate some of his jig heads, particularly for like his, that he fishes those juggle minnows and the small like crappie stuff. And while I was there, I actually told him, I was like, man, you should really come out with your own line of these jig heads, because I've tried to do it. And just looking at these baits, it gave me a perspective of just how far off I was from what I was using, trying to do what he was doing. So it was definitely worth me going there to kind of soak some of that stuff in. And again, when you're in that type of environment, that you have someone there live that is going over these things, it resonates so much more with you as you're trying to learn something than you can get through watching videos. You can do it live. That's really the way to go. I did get to actually, while I was there too, see his boat. He had brought that there.
That's a nice boat, guys. Very nice boat.
I was there for the 2 days. So that first day was Nick LeBrun, Ben Milligan, and Stephen Browning, which they all gave great lectures. I was there again for that second day and saw Luke Palmer, Alton Jones Jr., and Matty Wong. Alton Jones Jr., he's kind of from our area. You know, he's well known in these parts, if you might say. I did get a chance to, I really liked his lecture. I did get a chance to pull him to the side there and ask him about some questions I had about some local lakes. So that was nice to be able to talk to him. Someone that I didn't really know much about was Matty Wong. And I was thoroughly impressed with his presentation. And I tell you what, if you don't know who that is, go check out he's got a YouTube channel as well, Matty Wong. But I was really taken by his story, and I think he put on a great presentation. As a matter of fact, I went and I saw his finesse setup and his spinning reels and stuff that he was using, and I went out and got one for myself. That was cool. Alton Jones Jr., you know, he was kind of promoting some of his baits that he was using, and in the time that I was there, I'd gotten some stuff in, so I'm looking forward to using some of the stuff that he was talking about. Really big on these baits right here, these Emo Kamushis. For the bedding bass, says that, oh yeah, he doesn't know what it is about them, but the bass just can't stand them when they're bedding. And I got to looking at this and thinking, I'll pull one of these guys out. Yeah, I don't think that I would want that in my bed either. So I went ahead and got some of those. So we're going to try some of those out. I tell you what, at this Bass University thing, guys, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Learned a lot. It was a great weekend. It was pretty awesome to meet Ben. You know, he's got a really good thing going. I know that there's a lot of us viewers out there that are very proud of what he's been able to accomplish, but I know how hard he's worked to get where he's at. So kudos to Ben. It was a great experience, and thanks for you guys watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.